My name is Donna Ward. I homeschooled my 4 children, and during that time I found there was a real lack of Canadian social studies materials. I wrote some curriculum which pulls together a lot of living books, and they've been used by home educators and schools for the last 25 years. This seminar will inspire and give you tools for using picture books to teach critical and creative thinking with children of all ages. They need to be able to decode pictures, actively engage with the text, and discover the author's intent. We want to facilitate children in examining, evaluating, authenticating, and personalizing the things they read. There's a lot of content, so take a minute right now to print the PDF handout or open it on your device and follow along as you view the seminar. I'm so excited about using picture books to teach critical thinking to my new littlest learners, my grandchildren. I can see their dialogue exploding with picture books with the right open-ended questions. These are skills you can use in all subject areas, so I hope this seminar is really helpful. In this seminar, I want to talk about the joy of picture books for all ages, give you reasons to teach critical and creative thinking through picture books, and give you easy strategies with transferable skills for other subjects. You'll find a downloadable PDF handout and links on Pinterest and a Facebook group to give you titles and more ideas. You can follow me on Goodreads for reviews on good picture books. Picture books are poetry, imagination, adventure, wonder, interaction, and so much more. They are books that children fall in love with that can turn them into lifelong readers. Long before children can read words, they can read pictures. Books bond children with adults. Reading to children, even before they understand words, teaches them to associate books with love and affection. Purposefully used, picture books can also help children of all ages along the path to critical and creative thinking. All ages, you ask? Aren't picture books just for young children? Librarian Judy Berner writes, "A lot of the subject matter in picture books is relatable to children of many ages. Some concepts that the younger group may not pick up on will be the launching off point for an in-depth discussion with an older child. Many picture books deal with relationships from friendships to confusing life situations like a grandparent with Alzheimer's. My 9-year-old son and I have had some valuable heart-to-hearts after reading through a picture book." Studies have shown that preschool children are capable of identifying brands through picture symbols. 3 to 4-year-olds can easily recognize brands such as McDonald's, M&M's, or their favorite Disney brands. Advertisers know the potential of targeting children. Mary Roche, in her book Developing Children's Critical Thinking Through Picture Books, says this: "Teaching children to begin to deconstruct the meaning of images in the safe atmosphere of a discussion on picture books could be seen as a very powerful way to counteract some of the risks associated with being targeted by advertisers." In this complex world where there are underlying agendas in all media, either overt or hidden, children can be guided to look in picture books to decode the author's message, find hidden meanings, and discover ideology in both the text and pictures. As they gain these skills, they can then be challenged to examine the message, whether or not they agree, and why. Using picture books to teach critical thinking will give both you, the teacher, and your students cross-curricular skills, applicable in all subjects. My interest is social studies, so I will give you pointers about utilizing these skills in your study of history and geography. So what is critical thinking? Critical thinking is the ability to actively think and reason for yourself, rather than passively accepting the views of others. Reading picture books aloud is wonderful and enjoyable, but developing real readers happens through thinking, interaction, and dialogue after the reading. Studies have shown that discussion, or the dialogic approach to teaching, is important, even in the earliest years. American psychiatrist William Glasser put forward the theory that we learn 10% of what we read, 20% of what we hear, 30% of what we see, 50% of what we see and hear, 70% of what we discuss, 80% of what we experience, and 95% of what we teach others. Dialogue is a great tool to use in teaching children, in what Robert Fisher calls habits of intelligent behavior. Being curious, asking deep and interesting questions. Do you encourage curiosity in your children? Are they beginning to ask interesting questions, and do you have time in your school day for them to explore the answers? Critical thinking, giving reasons and evidence. Do you model critical thinking? Why is the critical question. Always ask your students to support their ideas with reasons. You can begin this with even the youngest students. Intelligent behavior includes creative thinking through generating and building on ideas. We want to help children to think out of the box. We want them to wonder and to ask the what-ifs. Now to the picture books. Make sure you choose quality picture books. To help you on that track, I've started a Pinterest board with book titles, and for those who want some activity ideas from the Pinterest community, which are totally optional. I will keep adding continually to this list. I've also started a Facebook group where you can be a contributor. And Goodreads is a wonderful forum to get reader reviews. You can follow me for my reviews on picture books if you like. When you begin to explore picture books, make sure the process remains enjoyable. I have read to children who love to examine books slowly on the first opening, and others who want to get on with the story. Be intuitive and guide the reading and discussion accordingly. You may read a number of books throughout the week and then choose one to come back to for dialogue, maybe doing one session a week. Or you may find the children can dialogue a little with each book you read. Let their interest be your guide. When you begin a discussion, explore and read the picture book including the cover, the back cover, the end papers, which are just inside the cover, and the title page. Good quality picture books have had every word, illustration, and page thought through carefully.
Whoa! The apples.
Look at all the apples. Why do you think there's so many apples? Look for clues about the story and predict what will happen if it's a first read. Or discuss what the children know about the plot and characters if it's a subsequent read. Read the story slowly and point out details while reading. Here's an example. Nellie Bell is digging in the yard. Why is she doing that? And wait for answers. Dogs sometimes bury their bones or toys. Do you see Ted's face? What do you think Ted is thinking? Oh no, Nellie Bell didn't bury her toy. What did Nellie Bell do? In his book, Creative Dialogue, Talk for Thinking in the Classroom, Robert Fisher sets out a chart of some differences between creative dialogue and traditional interaction. Many of us are very familiar with traditional dialogue. That's how we were taught. Traditional interaction is informative, giving the children information. Creative dialogue is imaginative. Traditional dialogue is calculative, focused on a particular end result. Creative dialogue is reflective, encouraging students to think through things open-mindedly. Traditional dialogue is authoritative. We either accept or reject the information. Creative dialogue is persuasive, allowing to think about various persuasions which can change our own answers. Traditional dialogue allows for only right answers. Creative dialogue allows for possible answers. Traditional dialogue has limited focus, while creative dialogue is exploratory. And traditional dialogue is content-focused, where creative dialogue allows for personalized learning. This description is just to encourage you to move towards creative dialogue as you help your children learn to think for themselves. For the purpose of creative dialogue, we want to use open questions which allow for various possible answers. Closed questions allow for only one correct answer, such as, "Where is Rosie's chick?" An example of an open question would be, "Why do you think Rosie can't find her chick?" Open questions allow room for pondering, speculation, and debate. Let the children be imaginative, explore ideas, and offer varied viewpoints.
But not the fox. He don't likes climbing ladders up to the tree.
Why do you think the fox doesn't like climbing ladders?
Because he don't want to go up the tree. Otherwise, he'll get stuck up there.
In the story, the fox does not climb the ladder. This is speculation, creative thinking, and the child's reasons why he thinks what he does. Teach the children how to justify their reasoning. Incidentally, you can ask for explanations in many other areas. A child might come back from an event and you say, "Did you have a good time?" And you get a one-word answer, "Yep." Tell me the best thing that happened at the event. Our family uses this question regularly. After events, gatherings, or holidays, we ask, "What was the best 5 minutes? Tell why." Either you, but preferably other students or siblings, can give feedback. Children are just trying to make sense of their world and don't have all your knowledge. Helping them learn to think for themselves is more important in this exercise than filling their heads with knowledge, and that takes some self-control on your part. There are times to impart knowledge, but in this case, the purpose is helping children to learn and think for themselves. Everywhere, in almost everything now, pictures are moving. There are wonderful educational benefits to this. However, when pictures are always moving in videos on the iPad and other areas, children tend to be passive viewers. Picture books show a freeze frame of a carefully chosen moment, and the fact that pictures don't move allows children to be active interactors, filling in the gaps with a variety of personal interpretations.
Hey, what was the fox?
What's it doing? Oh no, what's it gonna do?
No, not the fox. No, not the fox.
Louise Rosenblatt argued that reading entails a transaction between a reader and a text, and that every reader brings a unique viewpoint to the text. No two readers will form the same impression. Each reader will make meaning that is personal to them. Just a few weeks before I read Rosie's Walk to my 4-year-old grandson, he had had the first-time experience of swimming in deep water with a life jacket on his own. I knew when he was asking questions about the fox falling into the pond that he was thinking about his own experience in deep water and relating that to what was happening in the story. He was personalizing it.
Is he going down?
Do you think he's going down to the bottom?
Is it deep?
I don't know. What do you think?
Is he going deeper?
What do we think? Do you want him to go deeper or not go deeper?
I want him to go deeper.
Right down into the bottom?
Huh?
Do you think he can swim?
No.
Dialogic teaching and critical and creative thinking can be accomplished with non-fiction picture books as well as fiction. Children who have started basic critical and creative thinking with picture books will be able to transfer those skills as they learn to think critically about history and geography. Historical thinking concepts have now become the foundation for history and social studies curricula nationwide, beginning right in kindergarten. So it is important that educators understand and use these concepts. They are ways to think about history in order to find accuracy and make intelligent evaluations and inquiry. We want to ask, how do we decide what is important to learn? We need to establish historical significance. When we introduce picture books to our children about historically significant people, we can also be asking, why do you think these people are historically significant? Did their actions make a difference to many others, and did the impact last a long time? How do we know what we know? As the children have learned to decode illustrations in picture books, they are ready at early ages to become document detectives and learn how to explore photographs, diaries, and other primary sources. How do we understand complexities over time? We want to identify continuity and change. Children can begin to grasp how parts of their everyday life have changed or remained the same over time. I love this set of books, which is in our Grade 1 bundle, and they're great resources right up to Grade 4. How can we better understand what people thought in the past? What is the historical perspective that is different from our own? Picture books like Hidden Buffalo or Finding Winnie provide great opportunities for discussion about the perspectives of people of the past that might be different from how we think today. And how do we explain the effects of decisions and actions? We analyze cause and consequence. Picture books such as When I Was 8 and Not My Girl about residential schools, or Secret of the Dance about a young boy's West Coast potlatch experience offer excellent opportunities to talk about causes of past events and the consequences, as well as the opportunity to talk about what we can learn to understand the present as we look at ethical dimensions of history. I found valuable some specific question ideas for use with picture books, so let me take a few minutes to give you some. Mary Roche gives a great list of questions for reading Where is the Green Sheep? With very young children. She says, you could study the cover and then ask, look at these 3 sheep. I bet they're going somewhere. I wonder where they are. They aren't in a town, are they? We can't see any roads or houses or cars or people around, so maybe they are out in the countryside. Where might they be coming from? Why are they holding hands? They look happy, don't they? There's a red sheep and a yellow sheep and an orange sheep. The title asks, where is the green sheep? I wonder where that green sheep could be. Perhaps he's hiding. Do you think the sheep might be hiding? Where do you think? She suggests that here the child is encouraged to create his or her own story. And then you could say, let's read a little bit and see what the author says. And Mary Roche says, look at all the vocabulary and concepts that you have introduced already, and the story has yet to begin. As the children get older, you can talk about story sequence, the characters, the plot, and so on. Regarding story sequence, you can ask, what do the pictures tell you about the story? Remember to explore the cover, the end papers, the title page, and the back cover. You can ask, what do you think will happen in the story? What do you think is going to happen next? Encouraging the children to personalize the story, you can ask, what did you like most about the story? What did you like least and why? What did you think of the main character and why? Does the main character remind you of anyone? Who? What did you like best about the book? And encourage the children to say, I liked the part where, and because. And as the children get older and more skilled, we can ask the deeper questions. What is the author's intent? What is the underlying theme or message? And how does it relate to you and why? So in summary, we looked at the joy of picture books for literacy, for bonding children with adults, and for meaningful conversations about life themes. We talked about helping children become critical thinkers in light of being targeted by advertisers, and to give them skills to handle ideologies in the media. Dialogue was shown as an important tool as we help children become intelligent thinkers who are curious, critical, and creative. I pointed out the difference between traditional and creative dialogue and how to use open-ended questions, ask for reasons, and encourage personalization of the text. And I talked to you about transferring these skills as you look at the 6 historical thinking concepts. The handout gives you questions to get started and links to the Pinterest board and the Facebook group if you want to collaborate on great picture books. And if you want a little inspiration about reading aloud, check the resources at the bottom of the handout and the resource page on my website with some of Mem Fox's discussions about reading aloud to children. I invite anyone looking for Canadian history and geography to visit our website at dawnaward.net, where you can see on our homepage our featured educational material, our bundles with many living books and resources. You can shop by searching for product type, age, or a specific title. We have some online courses, a lot of free resources where you can also search by topic. If you'd like a catalog sent to your home, send an email request and we're glad to get that in the mail to you. And you can sign up for my newsletter to get a package of free printables. I look forward to helping homeschoolers with their Canadian social studies needs.